Welcome to this edition of Utah Libraries Have You Covered. We're coming to you from the Utah State Library for the Blind and Disabled recording studios. I'm Jeri Openshaw, along with Jason Powers, running the controls. Hi, Jason. And Jason and I are kind of on our best behavior today because our executive director from Community and Cultural Engagement, Donna Law, is here with us. So we're so delighted to have you finally.
Yeah, I realize it's taking a minute to get here.
But I will say this about Donna Law. She has been here recording books for the blind and disabled. And my thought is, if she can do it, you can do it. Because she's very busy and there's no excuse. I think you can come and do it. Come and record books and edit books for the blind and disabled. Donna, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Oh, good. Let's get a little background on Donna Law.
Okay. It's a long story.
That's good. We have time.
What I can tell you is I've come to this position as the executive director of the Department of Cultural and Community Engagement, having spent my career basically preparing for this role, not knowing that this is where I was going to be.
That makes me happy.
My first career was in aviation. I worked for SkyWest Airlines, like right out of high school.
What?
And had a career there. And then there came a time that I had to leave that position, and I entered the arts world through the front door of the Utah Shakespeare Festival as a volunteer.
Absolutely.
So
wonderful.
I spent 2 years as a volunteer. I did some work in hospitality in Cedar City, which is where my home is. Then I went on to work for the Utah Shakespeare Festival, and also 2 other Shakespeare festivals, one in Idaho and one in Orlando.
That's terrific.
As a note of the day, there are about 240 Shakespeare festivals in the United States.
I did not know that.
There are. So I've spent time with 3 of them.
That's awesome.
And also had the opportunity to have a leadership role in the association where Shakespeare theaters belong, the Shakespeare Theater Association.
Nice.
So that was fun. And then the third Shakespeare Theater that I worked with was in Orlando, Florida. My husband was eager to come back to Cedar City, and I got a role at Southern Utah University in advancement, and eventually also did government relations and community relations for SUU. So I spent a total of 26 years at SUU, 10 of those specifically with the Utah Shakespeare Festival. And then, surprise of all surprises, I get invited to apply for the role of executive director of this department.
Oh, an invitation. I did not know how that worked, so I'm excited to hear that.
Yeah, so I got an invitation to apply, and on December 10th of 2023, I was invited to the governor's mansion to interview with the governor, and he asked me to come and assume this role and said, we'll see you in 3 weeks.
Oh.
And the legislative session started in 4 weeks. So it was pretty fast. My home is still in Cedar City. So I am one of the state's rural workers, which Jeri, is very important to the governor, that we're spreading state employment across the state. So I'm an example of that.
And he is too.
I do spend a lot of time here in Salt Lake, but I also have the opportunity to work in Cedar and still engage with the Cedar City arts and museums and history and library community. All those things that we do here in our department happen in not just Cedar City and Iron County, but in every single city and county across the state.
And we're so excited to still have a bookmobile in Iron County.
Yes,
and it's
one of 4.
Yeah, and it serves that community well. They love it. We get such great testimonials, and it's just awesome.
We've had residents of Iron County even help with our bookmobile once in a while when vendors come loose or something like that. So
yeah,
bookmobile is well loved where I live.
It is well loved, and I wish we had more, but the ones we do have are well loved and well populated.
Yes.
When they stop someplace, people bring their wagons and their laundry baskets, and they fill them up until the next time they come. And it's so amazing to see.
It's great. I've had the privilege of riding in the bookmobile during parades in Iron County too. So we get lots of we feel a lot of love from our residents.
Throwing.
Yeah, I can't throw that well, so I just wave from inside.
That's good. And then it's parade season.
Yeah, it is. It is. Laurie does a good job down there, and I'm sure.
Yeah, I just send her some swag to be given out.
That's great. That's great. Thank you for the support we get from here at the State Library.
It's a good place. We have a lot of good programs in this division. But let's talk about the other divisions. This isn't the quiz, but let's go through and just do a spattering of information about other divisions we have, because it's all so fun.
It is. And such a wide variety of things happen in our department, State Library. We're here at the State Library. This is an anchor. We have around 50 employees that work here in the State Library, providing services to libraries, to patrons, and of course then the very unique work that we do for those who are blind, not just in Utah, but throughout the Western United States. So the library, State Library, is one of 9 divisions. And I actually have the website up so that I so that I don't miss anything.
You may cheat.
Yeah, so our website is community.utah.gov, and just that website title alone says very much about who we are.
That's right.
Where we do our work, and that's in communities across the state. Maybe most closely related to Utah State Library might be the Utah Historical Society. Since 1897, the Historical Society has been responsible to care for the artifacts, the art that has been collected. And now the Historical Society is in the process of creating a museum, will be called the Museum of Utah. And those artifacts that have been in the dark will now be about 970 of them, as we open the museum, will be available for Utahns and our visitors to come see in the Museum of Utah, which will open in the summer of 2026, so a year from now.
That's right. And those artifacts were in the Rio Grande basement.
Yes.
And so when the earthquake hit, and not destroyed, but really impacted the Rio Grande, people were so concerned about those artifacts, and they've made it.
They have. Those treasures have been stored in 3 different buildings. 3 different buildings across Salt Lake City, and will now be moved to the garden level of the North Capitol building, where the space has been built for them. So we have, I don't know, I think the ceilings are like 20 feet high.
Ooh.
And the shelving goes all the way to the top. When I had my first opportunity to see that space with the shelves in, I actually got really weepy, because I thought about where these items have been kept for these many years, and now they will be in a place that is really prepared for them, and we can care for them better, and more importantly, we can now share them with the public.
Right.
So,
and it's interesting that you say you got weepy. I know that I spent some time, a couple of times, touring the basement and looking at those, and for people especially who are local, there are things that just break you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I remember Roscoe. I remember Engineer Ron. And the Snellgroves. There's so many things you remember,
so
and you
many
do
things.
just it like touches you.
We have so many stories that we will now be able to tell in the Museum of Utah, and because we have so many stories, the galleries in the museum will be themed. And so it's not a chronological library, or it's not a chronological museum, but it's a themed museum where we can talk about celebrations and how we work and so many other things. So that will be exciting, and I hope you'll provide some opportunities, if you haven't already, for the museum team.
Absolutely, we will. Yeah, Tim Glenn. In the history vein, we also are home to the State Historic Preservation Office, and this team is remarkable in the work that they do. When you think about, again, the history of the state of Utah, so much of that is still available to us through cultural sites, where we have more than 400 volunteers across the state monitoring cultural sites to protect them from looting, and then they report their monitoring work to either public lands officials or what happens here at the state. We also have like a program for tax credits to work with historic buildings. One of the really fast growing programs right now is called Utah Main Street.
And I think we have 18 cities across the state that are Utah Main Street communities. And this is about, again, valuing the history of our main streets across the state. It's a really exciting program.
And we've worked with history on Carnegie libraries. We have 16 of those left in our state, and they are just sweet.
SHPO tells some wonderful stories, too. They just released a whole program about Utah's Buffalo Soldiers and the places that the Buffalo Soldiers came from. So you can learn more about that at the SHPO homepage. Utah Arts and Museums. This was the division that I was most familiar with, having come from the Utah Shakespeare Festival and Southern Utah Museum of Art in Cedar City. But this division supports through grant funding, but also through professional development and training and other support services, arts and museums across the state. We have the STEM Action Center, so we can go from arts to STEM, right? The STEM Action Center was funded by the legislature just 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I think we just celebrated the big anniversary.
And maybe for people who don't know, what does STEM stand for?
Science, technology, engineering, and math. So you can also think about that as the jobs of the future.
Exactly.
And this team, this very talented, innovative team in the STEM Action Center is this wonderful nexus between public ed, higher ed, community, working with families, and industry. And just the innovation that happens in that space, the hands-on opportunities that young people in particular can have when they come to the STEM Action Center, come into the hub and learn how to work in the maker space and things like that. So jobs of the future are started right here at the STEM Action Center.
And isn't there like on Friday afternoons, kids can come and...
Yeah, I think they call it Tinker Time.
Tinker Time, that's right, yeah.
So again, you can Google the Utah STEM Action Center to learn more about that. Utah has more volunteers, more volunteer hours, greater contribution financially to charities than any other state in the union.
That's right.
And in our department is You Serve Utah, which is the Commission on Service and Volunteerism. And so this is a place where we connect volunteers to service opportunities. We have a community engagement team that is busy connecting opportunities in communities all across the state with their United in Service programs. They just did a great program in Vernal just before the 4th of July where they helped communities clean up and then provide the Field of Flags in Vernal. So we go across the state and help bring communities together to provide service.
Right. They have a great volunteer training program that I was able to take some years ago, but boy, it was helpful.
Yeah, it's a great program. And when you think about particularly nonprofit organizations, we get people, well, you and I were talking a little bit about this before we started, but you bring people together who are very passionate about a purpose, but that doesn't mean they know how to do all the things.
That's right.
And sometimes wrangling volunteers is one of the hardest things because you can have a whole bunch of people who want to do good, but somebody needs to help them go left or right, so and accomplish the tasks that need to be done. And this team has some great training for that purpose. We also have two very specific divisions that support different communities across the state. We have the Division of Indian Affairs, who works with our 8 federally recognized tribes across the state, and Multicultural Affairs that helps make sure that services are available to all Utahns, which I think both of those programs are really terrific. And then who would expect this is part of our division, but we also have the Pete Suazo Utah Athletic Commission.
I love that.
And this is a very small team, a very small but mighty team, who regulates the safety of mixed martial arts in the state of Utah. So when you think about those events that happen from as far north as Garden City to Hurricane in the south, this team of 2 is making sure that the athletes are safe, that we have the right people as referees and doctors, and just make sure that the events that are put together by promotions are done fairly and safely. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Utah Department of Cultural and Community Engagement.
And they're like your babies.
They are. The other thing that's kind of cool about our department is we tend to get some very cool initiatives. When there's something
Yes.
that the governor's office or the legislature wants to have done, accomplished across the state that touches people in every single community in their day-to-day lives, we're the ones called on to do that. So a couple most recent ones were the new flag.
Yes.
The department helped coordinate the public engagement activity associated with that. And I don't have all the statistics about that, but I know that more than 70,000 people engaged in that process, either creating their own flag, voting on, the final 20. In Cedar City, we had the opportunity to have the final 20 on display. And I helped put them up and take them down a couple of times. And I remember walking through and picking my favorite, and my favorite was the one that got picked for the state of Utah.
I think mine was too, but that was such a process, but such a fun process for all of us here.
Well, and so engaging, right? So that's what we do is engage across the state. And right now, what we're engaged with across the state is America 250.
Yes.
So on July 1st, with Marie Osmond as host, we kicked off America 250 Utah. And this is an invitation from the governor and lieutenant governor and our team that's helping to facilitate all these things to prepare all year long to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. So we have a commission that Governor Cox appointed in 2023. So this group has been thinking about what we could do across the state. Mm-hmm. We have 6 initiatives to educate 500 teachers, to better prepare them to teach civics. We want people to move 250 miles, not move out of Utah, but move
your body.
Move your body, walking, riding, whatever it might be, 250 miles during the course of this year. And libraries is one of those places where they can come and get stickers.
Yes.
Zions Bank today just told us that they would help us with this program as well, along with Intermountain Health and the Larry H. and Gail Miller Family Foundation. So
in fact, I have those stickers in the marketing room, and that's my project.
I think I have a water bottle that needs a sticker.
Okay, we'll go get one for you.
So we have some, we want to have 250 service projects across the state, so we'll be coordinating that. And we are looking for how we help communities celebrate across the state.
Talk about the potluck. Wasn't that part of?
Yes, that is part of. In fact, America's potluck is slated to take place the day after the 4th of July. So after you've cleaned up all the fireworks, you can put out your tables and your red and white checkered tablecloths and invite your neighbors to come together and share a meal with America's potluck. So that's actually Utah's contribution to the national conversation.
Some green Jell-O, please.
I'm all about the baked beans.
Oh, those baked beans.
What would you bring to a potluck?
Funeral potatoes.
Funeral potatoes. I think I want artichoke dip, but I'm not sure how much I'll want to share.
There are a lot of good ones. That's a big project. There's so many great projects and campaigns underway. We all have way more than we can handle on our plates, which is really good. Really, really good. I love it. What, in your eyes, do you feel is the future of this department?
Wow, nothing like throwing out a big question. I think what I love about this department, and I think it's work that we've done in the past. I think it's what we do now, and I think it's what we'll do in the future, and that's celebrate who we are as Utahns. So think about how that applies to the Museum of Utah, for instance. In that space, we will talk about Utahns past, present, and at some point, those of us who are here now might get a story shout out in the future. We have an opportunity to celebrate all the different people who have come from all the different places that they've come. When I think about the work that we do, I think about at the end of the day, when you come home from work, you come home to your family and you go out into your community. You might go to the library to get books.
Absolutely.
Have great nieces who just love to go to the library. The last time I spent some time with Sadie, she'd been to the library that day. We had to read 4 books.
Oh, and how old is she?
In 15 minutes, she's 4.
Oh.
And she's like, how about this one, Aunt Donna? And how about this one, Aunt Donna? And by the way, when I come and read here, when I come and record books, Jason is always kind enough to let me read stories for kids, young adults. so I use my Aunt Donna voice.
We do have, I will interject here, we do have the world's largest Braille and audiobook library, and that has been confirmed now twice. But we have children's books that are so precious. They have Thermophore, which is brailled, which is a clear plastic that goes over pages of the book. So if you're blind and your child or children, they're sighted, you can read to them. If your child is blind and you're sighted, you can still read to them. So they are available for checkout. And I will say that a little plug for us is that if you qualify, and the qualifications are broad, we give books and Braille and audiobooks to kids who have dyslexia. And you don't think about that. I mean, these are kids who have never read a book in their life. We gave one child, he was 12, and he'd never read a book in his life because he was dyslexic and he couldn't read. So we gave him a thermoform version, and we gave him, I think it was her, I don't remember which book it was, but it was a whole new world for him. We gave him the audio version, the player, and the book, and he was in heaven.
Well, and Jeri, so you just shared an example of the work that we do touches lives in the way that no other department gets to
absolutely.
do. Now, a lot of people look to us and think about us as we get to do the fun things. Yep, we support arts organizations, theater, music, dance, museums. Those are all very enjoyable things, but we change lives as they have those experiences.
Yes.
They change lives as they learn how to read. I think about the Math Mentors program with the STEM Action Center and how they are helping parents who are working with young children, so the parents and the children both become more comfortable and confident with math. And early learning math is a very important determiner in how a person might be more successful in life. How they achieve that 3rd grade and 8th grade reading levels has as much to do with math as it does reading literacy itself. And so we know that we're helping families and we're helping children be successful in a way that helps them throughout their whole life. Right. So all of these things bring joy, makes a difference. We're in communities. We build community. We're community, in your community, in my community. So I just think the work that we get to do is truly joyful.
Oh, I do too. In our testimonials, and since we're here at the library, we had a young woman, a kid. She was 12. She rode her bike 8 miles because her bookmobile stop had been changed. She rode her bike 8 miles to the bookmobile and then 8 miles back home. I mean, that's dedication, but that's so heartwarming for me to hear.
Well, and one of my favorite bookmobile stories, and I can't tell you which community this was in, but we're in those rural places where there isn't a lot of other things.
That's right.
And so I've been told about the couple who rides up on their horse and, lassos the horse to the bookmobile, goes in, gets their books, put the books in the saddlebag, and mosey on home.
It's true. I wish we had pictures.
I know, I do too. But the fact that we can reach people wherever they are. Libraries are such an important community hub. Everybody's the same when you walk into a library. And yet you're searching different things, right? I want to read, I want to listen, I want to study, I want to work on a computer, I need to be able to apply for my benefits. You do those things at a library. In my town, the library's become the big gathering place for all the people who like to do puzzles and exchange them. So
well, that's important.
Libraries are just a really important central gathering place, and the role that libraries will play in the next year during the America 250 celebration,
huge,
I think is really great. I know the library's put together and is working on building even more reading lists.
Yes,
so
indeed.
That we think about
maybe a one read.
What books are we going to read together across the state? How do we learn more about the founders and what they believed and why we are here? And
it's important.
Why did we choose? It's we're blessed to get to do great work.
I think that it was, I want to say, Governor Huntsman who said, we're the heart of Utah.
And Governor Cox says that we are the heart and soul.
Oh, heart and soul.
Heart and soul. So we bless the lives of people where they live.
I absolutely do. So you made the decision to move here and to move from Shakespeare to here.
Yes,
And you're glad?
to join this department. Yeah, it has been thrilling. We have wonderful people who are very passionate about the work that they do.
And never want to leave.
Very specialized. I mean, you think about the librarians and the different work we've got, the different skill levels that we have working with our how we serve our blind constituents, and then we have people who are professional artists that are part of our arts and museums team. We have historians that are leading our history team. We have PhDs who are leading our SHPO team and helping with the cultural preservation. We even have a forensic anthropologist and a preservation architect on our team.
If you find some bones in your backyard.
Well, if you find bones in your backyard, yes, you call us first, and then we'll come help take care of that and make sure that we, most of the time, those are going to be ancient ancestors, and we have the opportunity and I would say the sacred responsibility to identify as best we can maybe who those ancestors belong to and help get them back to the appropriate tribe.
Exactly. And Darina.
Dr. Darina Kopp.
Just amazing.
Yes, she is.
And I was down there one time and she was like, see, this is a Fremont Indian baby because it has this little notch right here. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, they're all different.
Yeah.
And we can identify them all by their bone structure.
And everybody across our team, the 200-ish people that we have very unique skills that serve very unique purposes. And yet, as we unite to serve communities, we have some really great momentum and building capacity to help share with communities, cities, counties across the state.
And I will add, before we go, that we are very lucky to have you. Donna Law is well respected and loved at the Utah legislature, so we have a great advocate in our.
I'm glad you think that
in our back pocket. So when you go up there, I know. I mean, I've heard great stories about how great. Yeah, and we're grateful you're here.
Thank you. Well, I've been working with the legislature for a long time, they their job is hard too. And so the more they know about what we do, the easier it is for them to support us.
Yes.
To know how we are serving in their community and what the impact of our work is in their community. And so those are, again, joyful stories to get to tell. There's nothing like going, did you know?
Let me tell you about this. It's wonderful. And it's wonderful having you here. Thank you for taking a few minutes to introduce yourself.
This is really fun. This is really fun. And I look forward to Jason editing us so that I sound as brilliant as you think I am.
You are brilliant.
Thanks for the opportunity.
And fun to work with, I will say that. So.
Thank you, Jeri. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for coming.